But the reason why it is a drum set is because everything complements each other. And we forget as drummers to make sure that whatever we're doing is complementing everything. That's what, no matter what band you have, no matter who you're playing with, you're all playing with each other to complement each other. You know what I mean? And so that's what it goes back to. You know what I mean? Does that help at all? So is the yeah.
Now, when you're playing a lot of really fast chops, is there anything that you think that you're thinking in your head at that time to kind of slow it all down for you?
You want me to slow it down?
No, like when you're playing at that speed, like those chops, because it's kind of like the 30-second note rate above, like usually the groove you're playing. Is there anything you're thinking in your head? It's like it makes it a lot slower and a lot easier for you to make sure it's clean.
Well,
like while you're playing it.
Yes and no. I do my best to try not to think about. I like to let things come out naturally. However, you know, you have to obviously practice to get something to feel natural later on, or if chops anyway, you know, or certain things. Everybody's different. So generally, like if I'm playing something like that, I think first of all, don't try not to screw up, but it comes down to like it's all rudiments. You know what I mean? So like if I'm doing. You know, it's just sped up. It's just double the time, you know, because I can. You know what I mean? It's sped up, and you being confident in that. That takes a lot of practice. That's, you know, metronome practice. That's technique practice. You know, if I can do this. You know what I'm, like I can take it as fast as, I'm really just doubling stuff is really what I'm doing. And I like to do a lot of triplet stuff. I like to do 16th note. I like to do 16 note triplet stuff like that. So, you know, I love, you know. And another thing that I like doing a lot is a lot of accents in weird places. You know, I think it's funny to throw people off. Like if I'm playing, I don't do this a lot, but if I'm, you know, I may joke around or something and I'm playing and, you know, if a guitar player looks at me like, what the hell are you doing? Then I'll laugh and then I'll humor myself. But I like putting stuff in, I just like putting stuff in a lot of weird places because I just really like the sound of it. You know, it's creative to me and I try my best to suit that. When you're going really fast, you have to make sure you keep the meter in mind. So if you're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know what I mean? You have to still be able to keep that in your head. That's the first key to doing fast stuff. You can't forget where you are. You know what I'm saying? And you have to. It's just doubling a lot of stuff. You'll find out that if you know. You know what I mean? You're doing 16 notes, but you know you just got to double. You know what I mean? That's all that is, and that goes back to being confident in your wrist and finger power. You know, and if for those who want to get, you know, their speed up, more wrist control, stuff like that, thing I learned from my brother who. Well, I should say, you know, Dennis Chambers and Buddy Rich. Take pillows, take your bed pillow, take any kind of pillow, and you take sticks, or you can take, you know, like sticks like his marching sticks that he uses for drums, and you could do that, and go like this, but go full blast, like full wrist power, and then do doubles after that. And you can switch, you can take however long of increments you want. You can go for 4 bars doing singles, then 4 bars doing doubles. Make sure they're even, clean. The only thing you should really notice is that they are, when you're switching from, like, they should sound just as clean. Like, it shouldn't sound so different that you're someone has to wonder like what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's just. You see how they sound just a little different? And that's because you just know that I'm switching from singles to doubles. You do that, and your wrist will burn like hell. And if you do that for 15 minutes, 3 times a week, like in a month, I guarantee you'd be like, wow, my wrists have really gotten a lot faster. That's another key, because I find a lot of drummers, they can, like they know exactly what to do, but they'll have trouble trying to just keep up with the speed, and that'll force them to mess up. So does that answer your question at all?
And I guess a follow-up question: when you get a chop, you're like, damn, I really want to learn that. How do you work it up to like a faster speed? Like have you found a way that like I could kind of throw it through this gauntlet to try and get faster?
What I do is, so like you see a lot of drummers, like for instance, I'll name some fast drummers like Mike Mitchell. I watched the video of him last night, and I was considering throwing my sticks away. Ronald Bruner Jr., Aaron Spears, Eric Moore, Vinny Cataluta, who is my favorite drummer. All these, that's my guy. All these drummers, and I can go on for days, but all these drummers who are so fast, I find the chops that they do. And because I've been practicing and watching and interpreting chops, that was practice for me being able to pick up chops faster when I'm learning them. So what I do is I go back like 20 times, and I keep watching what they did. Say it's like 2 seconds, and I relate it to what I know, and I break it down myself to try to figure out what they did. Then if it's something awkward, like for instance, say I'm watching Shine Wright. Do we know who Shine Wright is? That's one of my favorite cats from Berkeley. I love Shine Wright. He did, they were putting out Mega Drum Project trailers before it actually came out. And he was on the first, second, or third, I don't know, I forgot which one he was on. And when he did a chop, like his whole section I was so interested in. And he did something that I could just not figure out right away like I could usually. And I kept watching it, and it took a couple days to interpret, but I kept watching it and pulling ideas. And I was randomly doing something, and all of a sudden it just clicked. I wasn't even thinking about it, but I went to think in my head, I really like that chop. Oh, I think I found it. Like you keep looking to. You just have to study it and take it piece by piece. See, a lot of us try to take it all in at once. You know what I mean? If you're trying to figure out something so weird that's hard for you to comprehend, you got to break it down. We have the ability in our brain to break it down, quite far if you really think about it. That's what I do. Take it. Maybe don't watch the first whole chop. Just watch the first half of it, and then maybe you find, okay, that's a lot better to comprehend. Let me try to figure that out first, and then let me figure out the rest, and put the whole thing together. And from that one chop, I guarantee you can go into other things. You know what I mean? And so, with triplets and 16th notes, 32nd notes, whatever it is, it's fast, but it's all from something simple when it comes down to it. So does that answer your question? Cool. Any other questions? What's up, man?
Do you have any advice about learning how to play in the pocket better?
Yes, I do. Um, Playing in the pocket is something that I take very seriously. As many chops as I like to do, you know, um, I believe that pocket is most important. Period. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. You know what I mean? Um, Chops are there to help. Really, we do certain chops or licks or really fills. Really, it goes back to we do those things to transition, but to transition to different sections or every 4 measures. I don't, every 4 measures, every 8 measures, whatever. But you know, as far as the pocket goes, um, you have to really understand what's going on instrumentally. So your bass player is supposed to be your best friend, but that doesn't always mean that you're playing exactly what he is. You're supposed to be one with him. You're supposed to be. That's really supposed to be like your Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Like that's really what that's supposed to be. So for instance, if we so say I'm in a pop punk band, okay, and say I'm Travis. He's not fat and black, but say say I'm Travis Barker and you're Mark, okay, and a lot of times Mark plays a lot of eighth notes for the riff. So they're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. He's going da na 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 da na na. But say we talk about a lot your bass drum going with the bass. You're not gonna do this, unless you're doing a build up or something, or maybe you will. But 95% of the time, you're not going to do that. So what happens is, Travis is very good at this. He's a very good studio drummer, and he's just solid. But what he does is he just picks a beat that goes along. That's what the pocket is. You pick a beat that goes along with what is going on. So Travis will go, you know what I mean? He's confident in everything he's doing. His technique is where it needs to be. He gets that sound out of the snare. He gets that nice booming sound out of the bass drum. You know where his eighth notes are. You can interpret everything that he's doing. No one has to guess, is he playing eighth notes or triplet? You don't have to guess.